Well, how y'all are this afternoon? This is your buddy George Jones over here at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on, hey, let's talk about some Glock some more. This is a Glockenspiegel 23. Now the 23 is the same gun as the 19 except it's in 40. And 40, in my opinion, is becoming a dead caliber. And the reason why it's becoming a dead caliber is because, well, for instance, law enforcement shot the 40 for years. The 40 was an alternative to 10 millimeter. And most guns designs were just not capable of accepting the pressure and the back pressure and so forth of the 10 millimeter cartridge. You know, it's hard to make a Smith & Wesson double action automatic like a 5906 or 5904 design work as a 10 millimeter. It's hard to get a Glock to work as a 10 millimeter. If you shoot the Glock 10 millimeter enough, sooner or later something on it will break. SIG found this out and everybody found this out. So the movement at that time was to do something with it. Let's take the same diameter cartridge, the same bullet, and put it in a smaller package, and therefore it lasts, maybe they work a little better as a law enforcement defensive and even target handgun. And it did. It did. This magazine holds 12 rounds. It gives you a total of 13 with one in battery. And that's pretty good, and it gives pretty good service. So why is it a dying cartridge? Well, it's pretty simple. A box of 40 caliber Smith & Wesson ammunition is about $25 at retail. A box of 9 millimeter ball ammo is $10 to $12, and if you buy it in bulk, it's $7 and $8. So shooters get more ammo for their money, so they tend to now to want to shoot 9 millimeter instead of 40. Law enforcement agencies who are buying thousands of rounds of ammunition every year, you know, if they convert back to 9 millimeter, they've still got something that they can work with as a cartridge and a gun for half the money or a third of the ammunition budget that they had when they had 40s. So 40 is starting to slip by the wayside. And as less and less people shoot 40 ammunition becomes more and more expensive. I look for certain ammunition companies to stop producing 40 caliber Smith & Wesson ammunition as early as this year, 2019. So, where are we at with that? Well, we're at this. Glock 23. This one, in the coming week, is going to become a 9 millimeter. By simply changing out the barrel and magazine, this gun will become a 9 millimeter. So, and essentially, this 23 will become a 19. We've made all kinds of wisecracks about it, and none of them have gotten past B-roll. You know, so we had a conversation about this a minute ago, and things came up in the conversation that YouTube would not only demonetize me if I posted that video or posted a video saying that, they'd probably come over to my house and shoot my porch light out. With all that having been said, let's test fire the old gun, see how it runs. So we'll put us one in there. So we can get that guy charged up. All right, lay that guy down there. We have targets at 15 yards. I have a B-21 police silhouette at 15 yards. And then we're going to try the second magazine at the 25 yard steel plates. See how that goes. Waiting for the train to go by. What will the conversion cost?
Approximately $80 for the barrel, and the 9mm magazines I already have.
Okay. So the barrel replacement is somewhere in the neighborhood of $80. And like that. All right, then let's get our accuracy in. See how we're actually, see how this guy actually shoots at 15 yards. I've never been a big fan of the 40, but I always try and give it an even break. And it sure kicks. .25-yard steel silhouette. Missed. Hit. Got her swinging. Let's try a slow plate. There we go. I don't know if I like these sights or not. This gun is, the sights have been changed out on it to what is sometimes referred to as safari sights. If you can see these guys, what we have here is a very shallow V and a very large, well-pronounced front sight dot. Back in the day, express rifles and safari rifles were equipped with this style of sight. Supposedly you can pick it up quick and run with it. I don't know how I did with these sights on paper. These sights are made by Trigicon, and they've got a little line right there that you can line up with this humongously large Trigicon dot. And it's just basically a like that. It's just, you know, I'm not too, whether or not I'm very crazy about this sighting system, but let's go down and see how we did with it and see how it shot. See how I shot it. Let's put it that way. I'm pretty sure this gun shoots good. It's just a matter of whether or not I shot it good. And as usual, it's all over to the left. Yep. I've noticed I always shoot a Glock to the left. It's just something about the ergonomics of it. There's a reason why I don't own one. You know, got a 1X right there, 9s. You know, they're all in the wound area, but they're not very in the very efficient area. All basically off to the left. And I didn't do very well on the steel targets at all. So there we go. But the gun does work. I'm not 100% sure I'm a big fan of the sighting system. That may be part of my problem. Maybe part of my boggle. But it does work. And we shot it. Yeah. But I think that converting this gun 9mm is a good idea. I'll just tell you the truth. Eventually you'll get to where you won't be able to get 40 caliber ammunition at all. You know, basically just because of the cost, everybody's moving away from it. One of the mainstays in American ammunition manufacturing is being able to sell to the military and be able to sell to civilian law enforcement. They're the big consumers of ammunition. You know, federal law enforcement requalifies every 3 months. Most municipal agencies requalify every 6 months. The little agency I work for requalifies every year. And we go through 2 cases of 9mm, a case of double-aught buck, and a case of 5.56 ammunition. You know, and at our budget level, that's quite a hit. We're a very small agency. But if you take an agency like LAPD that's buying probably 1 million rounds of ammunition a year to qualify every 3 months or so, plus they've got a SWAT team that runs all the time, and they train constantly with firearms. You know, and you've got agencies that have constant firearms training. I worked for the Department of Corrections in Kentucky for 22 years, and we trained, you know, we were constantly training. There was gunfire on the range every day. You know, you look at buying 40 caliber ammunition as opposed to buying the price of 9mm ammunition. It don't take long for a city comptroller to figure out that, hey, maybe we ought to be in a different caliber. Well, anyway, that's about the size of it. Old Glock 23. It's a pretty good gun. You know, it's just in 40. That's the only problem with it. That's about the size of it. Like, take, share, commentate, and subscribe. Leave me an old $1 and a Patreon bucket on the way out the door if you want to. And if you don't, I'll keep making content and going on gun rants for you. All right, then. We'll see y'all.